So I'm learning to fix my video quality, and if you can hold your ADD for at least 30 seconds, I just might save your life. Hey there, my name's Devin, how are you? No, let me stop you there, I can't hear what you're saying. I was on YouTube here recently, and I was watching these people's videos, and I happened to notice that, wow, everybody's stuff looks magnifico in comparison to mine. And that got me wondering, why is that? So I did about 6 seconds worth of research and I came across this thing that I call the exposure triangle. And on that, at the very bottom, it has this little thing called ISO and a little picture so that you can understand it. And as I looked at this picture, it says that essentially the more ISO you have, the grainier your footage will be. And I was like, wow, that really matches my problem. So I go to my camera, I look at the settings. It's a camcorder, so it's not ISO, it's called gain. And yeah, it's way up there. It's way up there, right? That's a huge problem. So I turn it down and then I look at the footage and yeah, it's a lot cleaner. And then that got me to thinking, wow, what else am I doing wrong? Maybe I should learn to use a camera. Maybe I should learn to use a camera. Right, seeing as how we're having that, since, you know, like I'm doing this right here, right now.
Chocolate fountain!
Okay, so one thing that became really clear really quickly is the fact that if you have the ISO down to 0, you need lights, baby. You need lights, something serious. Unless you happen to be outside, and then it turns into the exact opposite. In the sun, overexposure is the name of the game. In order to fix that, I'm using my shutter speed. I bring up the shutter speed and it'll darken up the image a little bit, which it worked out pretty good. But I did want to try to use the CPL, which is just a circular polarized lens. Now I'm gonna put this guy on you. I wonder, will it show up? Boop. This thing gets rid of glare, so. There you are, you sweet baby. And so after all of that, these are the two that I chose to be the winners, at least in direct sunlight. Now, in indirect sunlight, the results were pretty much the same. The shutter speed took one step down, and that's pretty much the main thing that was different. But while I was doing that, something fairly interesting happened. The sun is in that direction. Oh wow, look at that. That's nice. Dang, boy. Hey, guy.
Stay in focus.
So, surprise, surprise. I've just been using the wrong camera this entire time. I should have been using the R7. Now, it has a 50mm lens on there, which puts off a nice bokeh effect, but even with your standard 18 to 150 adjustable, right, it still looks pretty good. Okay, so obviously ISO needs to be as low as possible, right? We don't want no grain. And we have to have at least double the shutter speed of the frame rate, right? What sort of lighting is going to be required in order to make that reasonable, right? It's probably going to be a lot. We'll see. We'll see. Hey there. R7. The ISO is at 100. That's as low as it'll allow me to go. ISO and gain is measured differently. Very dark. I have lights all over me. It is absolutely insane. This is blinding.
What's funny is it looks dark here, but it looks great here on the phone.
Nice. Now, this is 24 frames per second. Which means that I can drop the shutter speed to 48, which gives me a little bit more light. And it helps, but the real question becomes, at what point do you sacrifice clarity for convenience? And would this level of clarity attract enough additional attention to make it all worth it? I mean, what's the return on investment? And with that very open-ended question, that leads me into my next issue. Take a look at this video right here. This is what unedited footage on the R7 looks like. Notice how it looks super dull and gray and lifeless? Yeah, I do too. I could not figure out what was going on. The camera, essentially, with my super limited knowledge of the subject, it condenses the color data so that you can mess with it later in post. It just makes it to where you can manipulate it a bit better afterwards to fit whatever scene you're trying to create. So I've got about 100 gigs worth of test footage. And this is only a 6-minute video. That's a lot to delete. But this is what I've learned. Number one, gonna be ISO. I like to keep it low. Nice clear picture. But God, the amount of equipment that you're gonna have to carry. But number two, it's gonna be shutter speed. If you want quick movement, and it to be clear, that shutter speed better be so high, you're looking at tops of flagpoles. But if that doesn't matter to you, keep it low. And remember, you can get more light by lowering the frames per second, because then you can lower the shutter speed. That's right. And oddly enough, 24 frames per second makes it look like you're watching cable TV. Why is that? I don't know. But it does. What is number three?
Aperture.
Number three is going to be the aperture. You widen that lens out a little bit, boy, you're going to get some light in there. You're going to get a little bit of light. Make that background all dirty and blurry. Ooh, looks good. Unless that ain't what you're looking for. And let's just be honest about this right now. Camcorder's easier to use. DSLR's got too many working components. It's not convenient. And let's not act like that HDR setting is a necessary evil, because it's not. Mostly should be used for professionals. That's just an extra step. But I won't lie. It looks nice if you know how to do it. Hot dog babies, yeah. Hot dog babies, yeah.